I was in labor, and Ethan was driving me to the hospital. Then in the storm, he slammed on the brakes. Through the windshield, I saw Chloe, his ex-girlfriend, standing in pouring rain with 2 heavy bags.
Wait here. I need to help her. 10 minutes. Oast.
10 minutes. I was having contractions. Ethan, we're on our way to have our baby. I'm in pain right now.
She's a single mom out in this storm. You're about to be a mother yourself. Can't you have a little empathy?
Before I could answer, Chloe tapped on my window, apologized with a practiced smile, then naturally handed Ethan the heaviest box. Ethan handed me the box like it was the most normal thing in the world. Ethan stepped out. Ethan totally forgot I was still in the car. He locked me inside, right there with Chloe's boxes. I pressed my palm against the glass and watched the 3 of them, Ethan, Chloe, and her son, disappear into the dark stairwell. I didn't have time to sink into sadness. Another wave of pain crashed over me. The lock light kept blinking red. The pain was getting worse, and Ethan was gone. A sharp pain ripped through my belly, and a warm gush soaked my legs. My water had broken. My hands took as I grabbed my phone and called Ethan.
Sarah, relax. From the way you're yelling, you're nowhere near delivery. When it's really time, you won't even be able to talk.
Put Ethan on the phone! Now!
I don't know why you're freaking out like this. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
I told him my water had broken. He hung up. I called again. No answer. His phone was off. I dialed 911. The operator told me to get out of the vehicle immediately. The doors were locked. Then I remembered. The trunk had an emergency release. I unbuckled my seatbelt and crawled toward the back seat. Inside the dark trunk, I searched blindly with shaking hands. The metal toolbox sliced my fingers open. I bit down hard to stop myself from screaming. Then my bloody fingers touched a small plastic handle. I grabbed it and pulled. The trunk popped open, and I tumbled out into a muddy puddle. In the distance, the ambulance siren wailed closer. I do not remember much after that.
Try to relax, sweetie.
Only the groany, the oxygen mask, a nurse's voice cutting through the noise.
Ma'am, we need your husband's number. We need to contact your family right away.
My hands shook so badly I could barely unlock my phone. I dialed Ethan, no answer. Then a social media notification lit up the screen. Chloe's account. I tapped it without thinking.
A short video played. Ethan sat on Chloe's couch, relaxed, while she stood behind him, gently toweling off his wet hair. Her laughter filled the clip.
What a fool, getting soaked just to help me. Good thing I'm here.
I set the phone face down on the gurney. Something inside me went completely quiet. The doctors worked for 2 hours to pull me back. I was alone for every minute of it. When the nurse asked again for my family, I stopped trying to reach him. No family. I'll sign for myself. I took the pen with bloody, shaking fingers. When I opened my eyes, the woman in the next bed watched me.
The nurses said you had an emergency delivery. The doctors worked for 2 hours just to pull you back. How come your husband wasn't here for something so serious?
I stared at the empty chair, then called Ethan.
Sarah? I was just about to come down. The storm shattered Chloe's window, glass everywhere. If I don't fix it, the rain will ruin her whole place.
Ethan, it's been 4 hours since
I was busy. I'm coming down now.
Promised me 10 minutes. He hung up. 10 minutes later, he called back, his voice finally cracking.
Sarah, why aren't you in the car? Where are you? Did you have the baby?
Just then, a nurse stepped in to check my bleeding.
Ma'am, we also need to keep a close eye on your baby's temperature. She's underweight, so please call us if anything changes.
The line went completely silent. Ethan had finally heard the truth from someone else's mouth. I hung up without answering. I did not tell him where I was. I did not tell him whether our daughter was safe, because the man who left us locked in the rain no longer deserved to know first. Ethan rushed into the room looking exhausted and soaked from the rain. I pulled it away and closed my eyes. He sat beside my bed talking for a long time. I did not answer a single word. When I woke up again, the chair beside my bed was empty. A note sat on the table. Went downstairs to buy pads and diapers. Be right back. I picked up my phone and opened Chloe's social page. She had posted less than an hour ago. The photo showed a thermometer reading 102 degrees. Beside it was a man's large hand pressing an ice pack against her son Liam's forehead. That hand wore a wedding ring, the one I had chosen myself. Liam spiked a scary fever, but thank God you're here. Even when you're exhausted, you're still the rock I can count on. Ethan had only stayed in my hospital room for 30 minutes.
In all that time, he had not asked a single question about our daughter. I stared at the photo until my lips twisted into something that was not quite a smile. The woman in next bed quietly leaned over.
You can use some of mine if you want.
I accepted what she offered. My husband had left me and our newborn with nothing, and a complete stranger filled the space he abandoned.
Late that night, my daughter's face turned a frightening red.
Ignoring the pain from my stitches, I scooped her up and staggered barefoot into the corridor. Please, someone help my baby! Then I froze outside a half-open pediatric room.
Ethan's voice was inside.
There, Liam. Daddy's here. It's all over.
He was cradling Chloe's son. Back then, he had called it ridiculous. Now, he sang it perfectly. Chloe sat beside them, watching with shining eyes. And I stood in the hallway, bleeding and sweating, holding our feverish newborn. Then my daughter let out a sharp, desperate cry. Ethan looked up. Through the open door, his eyes met mine.
The doctors moved fast. Acute fever from a lung infection. Serious, but caught in time.
I sat outside the incubator, watching her tiny chest rise and fall until all my strength was gone. Ethan came over and crouched beside me, eyes red, gripping my cold hand.
I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay right here with you and our daughter until you're both ready to go home, I promise.
A few days ago, those words would have made me cry with relief. Now, I felt nothing. Then a small voice came from the doorway.
Ethan? Are you leaving me and Mommy?
Ethan stiffened.
I'll just take him back. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Relief crossed his face. Then he walked away, Liam's small hand wrapped around his finger. On discharge day, Ethan said he had a meeting and would pick me up afterwards. I did not wait. I packed everything, held my daughter in one arm, dragged my suitcase with the other, and checked myself out.
At a red-let downtown, I looked out the window and froze. The same Ethan who said he had an emergency meeting. He held Liam on his hip, black card in hand, paying at the register. On the counter sat a forest green limited edition handbag, the exact one I'd admired 3 months ago. Now he smiled as Chloe—
Sarah, we need to save for the baby. That kind of thing is too expensive.
I looked down at my sleeping daughter and let out a dry, hollow laugh.
That night, Ethan said Chloe wanted to take us to dinner to thank him and celebrate my discharge and insisted I come. At the Italian restaurant, Ethan took over the menu, all their favorites.
Even when Chloe can't have anything spicy, let's get the seafood risotto and a Neapolitan pizza.
Not a single dish for me. When the food arrived, Ethan twirled in noodles, cooled them, and fed Liam bite by bite. I sat in the cramped seat, rocking my daughter, who was unsettled by the noise. By the time she finally fell asleep, most of the food was gone. My stomach cramped with hunger.
Could I get the mushroom soup and lasagna, please?
Of course. Sarah, Chloe is treating us. Don't be rude. Stop acting so ungrateful.
A deafening clash cut me off.
Robbery!
Masked men rushed in with guns drawn.
Robbery! Everybody down!
The crowd stampeded in every direction. I pulled my daughter tight against my chest and backed against the wall. He pulled Chloe close, shielded Liam with his body, and guided them towards the exit. He did not look back. I pressed my daughter's face against my shoulder and went completely still, because no one was coming for us.
The police arrived fast. An officer spotted me holding a newborn and got us out first. An EMP checked us both. We were okay. In the back of a police car, I looked through the window. Ethan had already found Chloe. He was running his hand through her hair, murmuring to her in a low, steady voice.
It's over. The cops have everything under control.
That was the same voice that had hung up on me in a locked car while my water broke. I had promised myself I would not cry for Ethan anymore. But my tears still fell onto my daughter's face. I held her tighter and let them fall. Outside the window, Ethan was still looking at Chloe, and he still had not noticed we were gone. In the police car heading home, my phone lit up, Ethan's text. Chloe and Liam were traumatized. They needed him. He would be late. He told me to sleep first and not wait up. I read it twice. Then I laughed, a short, quiet sound in the dark back seat. I had planned to wait until my daughter was weaned, until my body healed, until I found a lawyer and could leave with dignity. That plan died in the police car. Every minute in that apartment felt like suffocating. Back home, I moved fast. I placed the divorce papers I had already drafted on the kitchen table. Then I packed my documents, my daughter's things, and the essentials. Nothing more.
Finally, I took off my wedding ring. I set it on top of the divorce papers and looked at it for 1 second. The earliest flight to Seattle was at 7 in the morning. I was going to make it. Behind me, the diamond ring sat on the unsigned papers in the dark apartment, waiting for a man who was still comforting someone else.
The plane broke through the clouds just after sunrise. My daughter slept in my arms, her breath warm against my neck. Sweetheart, we're going to Grandma and Grandpa's. That's where you'll be safe.
Mom was watering her hydrangeas on the porch when the cab pulled up. She looked up. The hose dropped from her hand. She caught me.
Later, by the fireplace, I told them everything. The locked car, the trunk, the surgery I signed for alone, the lullaby Ethan sang for another woman's child, the restaurant, the robbery, his back disappearing with Chloe while guns were drawn. Dad's face turned purple. He stood up and started pacing.
I'm booking a flight right now. I'll knock out every tooth in his mouth myself.
Dad, don't.
James, calm down. She needs rest, not you losing your mind.
That afternoon, I slept in my childhood bed for the first time in years. No silent treatment, no disappointment. Just pine trees outside the window and my parents' voices downstairs. When I woke, I picked up my phone and sent Ethan one text. Sign the papers. Don't contact me again. Then I set the phone down. Now I only had to wait and see which Ethan would appear. The one who accepted it, or the one who finally panicked.
Sarah! I know you're in there! Open up!
Dad set down his newspaper, took off his glasses, and reached for the baseball bat by the wall.
Don't. I don't want the police coming for you.
Move, Sarah. This is my house.
Let me handle it.
Sarah, thank God. You scared me half to death. How could you just take the baby and disappear?
I did not take it. Did you sign the papers?
The desperate smile on Ethan's face frozen.
It was instinct. There were guns. It was chaos. Chloe panics easily, and Liam's just a kid. If you'd been closer, I would have pulled you too.
My daughter was 2 weeks old. I was still bleeding from surgery. Were we not vulnerable too?
You can take care of yourself. Chloe is different.
A large hand suddenly reached past my and gripped Ethan's wrist. Dad had appeared beside me without a sound.
And if you make my daughter cry one more time, you'll find out exactly how well I know the Seattle chief of police.
For the first time, he finally seemed to understand he was actually losing me.
Sarah, please. We have a child. We have a family. I'll change, I swear. I'll delete Chloe's number right now. I'll never see her again. Just give me one more chance.
My heart felt strangely calm, quieter than it had in months. Go build your family with Chloe. Your instincts already chose her.
Dad held the door as it closed between us. And that was it.
The next day, another bouquet arrived, then patches, a top-of-the-weight stroller, a postpartum recovery kit I'd once hesitated to buy, a diamond necklace in a velvet box. I didn't open a single one. Ethan was trying to fill a black hole with money. But black holes do not fill.
On the 4th day, my phone showed 17 unplayed voicemails. I moved to delete them all. One started playing.
Sarah,
Ethan's voice filled the room.
kicked Chloe out.
Slurred, drunk, half-drunk, choked with tears.
I yelled at her in front of Liam. I told her she ruined my marriage and to get out of my life forever. See? I'll do anything. I got rid of him. It's just us now. Come back, baby, please.
I stood there holding the phone, listening to a man blame his ex-girlfriend for choices only he had made. Even now, Ethan still didn't understand. He screamed at Chloe, humiliated her in front of her son, then handed me the wreckage like a gift. But every time he drove to Chloe's apartment, locked me in that car, and chose her son over his own daughter, those were his choices, not hers. His. A man who cannot own his choices does not change. He only finds someone new to blame. I deleted the rest of the voicemails without listening. Then I opened Ethan's contact, scrolled to the bottom, and pressed block. The screen confirmed it. I handed the baby to Mom. Then I threw on a jacket and walked to the door. Ethan stood on the porch, unshaven and hollow-eyed. He looked thinner than I had ever seen him.
In his hands was a bakery box.
You finally agreed to see me. I got you cheesecake from your favorite place.
Just sign the papers, Ethan.
I know I was too close to Chloe, but there are things you don't understand.
Because she married her ex to spite you after your breakup, and he turned out to be abusive.
Ethan's mouth opened. He stared at me like a magician whose trick had just been exposed.
You knew?
Of course I knew. I pulled out my phone and opened the message I had received that morning. Then I held the screen up in front of him.
Chloe's message glowed on the screen. Sarah, I'm sorry. I never meant to ruin your marriage. Attached below it was a photo of a pregnancy test. 2 bright red lines.
Ethan started shaking.
This isn't... It was a mistake. We were drunk.
He had slept with Chloe while I was pregnant, while I was carrying his daughter, while I was begging him to learn a lullaby he refused to sing. You're not some savior. You're just a man who can't set boundaries or keep it. I'll file for our divorce on grounds of infidelity. You'll walk away with nothing. And as for visitation, I pointed toward the end of the driveway. You are never getting near my daughter again. Get out. One morning, Dad came in from picking up the newspaper with a large envelope in his hand.
I'm guessing he left this.
I recognized it immediately. The same envelope I had left on the kitchen table the night I walked out. Ethan had signed his name. He had not crossed out a single line. Full assets to me, full custody to me, and the last clause, he agreed never to appear in our lives again. Tucked inside the last page was a cheap sticky note. The ink was slightly blurred from the morning mist. This is all I have left to give you. I read it twice. I felt no anger, no relief, just a vast, hollow calm, like something rotten had finally been cut away. Then I picked up the signed agreement and filed it away.
Sarah? What is it? You look so serious.
I looked at the filed papers on the table. Then I looked at my daughter. Her tiny fists opened and closed. Her eyes moved slowly around the room, as if she were learning what was worth keeping.
I kissed her forehead. The same forehead I had kissed on a plane at dawn, promising we were going somewhere safe. And we had made it. Sunlight broke through the clouds and spilled across the living room floor.
I stood there in the sunlight and did not look back. Not because I had forgotten, but because I had finally chosen to live.